I'm letting in them, ma'am.
Yes, you can let them.
Okay. Bindu ma'am, can you unmute yourself? I had just muted everybody. Bindu ma'am. Sorry, dear teachers, to keep you waiting. We're just checking out the presentations. So I think we'll start now. Bindu ma'am, can I start?
Yeah.
So good afternoon, everybody. Another Sunday, and we have another session from Bindu ma'am. I would just like to read it out for you as I introduce our resource person for today. Bindu ma'am works as an assistant professor of Amrita Vishwavidyalayam, Coimbatore. She's an experienced educator with a demonstrated history of working in the computer software industry. She's professionally skilled in Oracle, SQL, SQL developer, Python, C++, Java, and web programming. She completed her MTech from NIIT, Trichy, and has published around 10 papers in international conferences and journals. She's pursuing her research in neural machine translation in Amrita Vidyapeetham. She was part of the organizing committee of the prestigious Grace Hooper Women in Computing conducted by Anita Borg Institute and was ACM student chapter coordinator. Her areas of interest include natural language processing, machine learning, deep learning, and databases. Welcome, ma'am, and all the teachers here are looking forward to this session by you. And we would be having a session on critical and creative thinking, which is actually unit 6 of grade 11 of CBSE. So I hope that everybody can see the presentation on screen. Are you all able to see the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the presentation visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So Bindu ma'am, this is the 12th session by AI teacher community. And it's a very interesting story of how I met Bindu ma'am. I had posted this request on my LinkedIn wall that if there are any educators who would like to help teachers out with their classroom sessions, please do reach out to me. And I saw a message in my LinkedIn whereby Bindu ma'am was asking me about the details about the same. And she very readily agreed when I approached her and when I told her about that this is what we do and this is how we do it. So thank you so much for accepting and coming over. And over to you, ma'am.
Yes. Good evening to everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
It's my privilege to speak in this, address this audience. I'm greatly thankful to Shibianand for giving me this opportunity. As it is a Sunday, I don't want you to keep you waiting. So we'll right away start with the topic. I was very much astonished to see when Shibianand said the sessions are for the teachers, and I was very much really excited to do this session for you all. Good initiative from the government to introduce creative and critical thinking and AI in the in the school level itself, so that the future generations will be benefiting and they will be able to develop. And I have very much strong regard to all the school teachers. I still keep in touch with my school teachers because they are the people who mold the children or mold the young generation to lead the nation. Okay, with that, I'll straight away go to our topic. So the topic Shibi has given me is creative and critical thinking. So I don't promise or I don't tell you that within this 1.5 hours, I will make you everybody creative. It's an impossible task. I'll just try a bit from my side, what can be done or how we can improve our creative and critical thinking skills. As school, that is, when we were in school, we really used to think more and more, and because we didn't have any inhibitions. So without any inhibitions, whenever a teacher asked to sing a song or do a dance or come out with a speech for a topic, we used to jump on the dais and tell. But as we grow up, we see about the world and we get into a lot of inhibitions that maybe I don't know how, can I see a show of hands as to how many of you consider yourself as creative? Can I see a show of hands? Is show of hands available? Should we?
Yes. Everybody can. We also have around 10 teachers who've been trained by CBSE for AI teacher educators.
Okay, so I can see 6 participants raise their hand. What you people can do is, you can just close your eyes and just raise your hands. Okay. Okay, now you can put your hands down. Okay, so how many of you opened your eyes also when I asked you to put your hands down? Somebody can unmute and tell also, or in the chat also you can reply.
Yeah, please be interactive.
Yeah.
Bindu ma'am, can you repeat that question for
Right. Initially, I asked how many of them are creative. I saw a show of hands.
Yes.
So I said, you close your eyes and raise your hands.
Yes.
Right. Later, I said, whoever, they can put their hands down.
Okay.
So did they open how many of them open their eyes also?
2 in the chat box says they have opened their eyes.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
okay.
I missed.
Because that is a spontaneous action. If we feel that, this instruction is over, we are passing on to the next instruction. That is how we are programmed. Like one instruction is given, okay, for this task, we were asked to raise our hands. Next task is, okay, the instructor has told us to put the hands down. Now put the hands down means there was one more instruction, close your eyes, that also we do, right? But I have not asked you to put your hands down. I just asked you to put your hands down. I didn't ask you to open your eyes, but it spontaneously happens, okay? So this was just a small little exercise. Most of the time people try this out. There is a beautiful course on creative thinking, design thinking by a Stanford professor. I'll just share the link of the YouTube link in the chat after this session. So my session is organized in this method. Just a brief intro. That is, when we say creative thinking, critical thinking, and design thinking, it's absolutely not just going through the slides will not work at all. Okay. So we'll just see just the definitions or just a pictorial representation, and then we'll be interested in doing a lot of activities. Okay. Is it fine? So I'll take you through the definitions. Then we'll have one small activity then this Stroop color word test. Then we'll have one more activity where left brain versus right brain activity. We'll just discuss about 6 thinking hacks. What do you mean by, or what is the importance of user needs? Then we look into ethos, logos, and pathos, the rhetoric triangle. Then we'll have just a look into PMI charts. Then 5 W's and 1 H, and 5 Y's. Then explain like I am 5, 4 C's. Now it is modified into 7 C's, 3 R's, and 3 M's. And empathy map, I think the previous speaker also had touched upon. I'll just, because it's in the syllabus, I'll just put it down. Yes, are we good to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So creative thinking versus critical thinking. Most of the time in schools, or when as educators, we usually do the critical thinking part. Okay, so we ask them to we'll give them a problem, ask them to analyze the problem. We will ask them to evaluate solution and choose one of the problem, and ask them to analyze what are the drawbacks of the situation. Definitions and all, I'm not going to read out. You can just go through it. The creativity definition I have just taken from Edward de Bono, and critical thinking definitions also given there. It's not a session to read out the definition. So I just put out this picture so that you can understand, analyze the problem, evaluate solution, and critique the solution. Now that is a left brain activity. Say for example, you have your right brain, that is the people who are creative. Now people say whenever you need to simulate the right brain, that is you you would have seen some of the kids using their left hand and some of the kids using their mainly people use the right hand. But when they're using the left hand, we actually make them, okay, no, you are not supposed to do this. You have to use your right hand itself. But for some people, depending upon their brain, the growth of their brain, they may choose to use the left hand or the right hand. Okay, so it's the doctor suggests that if the person is using the left hand from the initial, let them use the left hand, don't disturb him. But whenever we have to be creative, we have to instill the creative thinking skills in us, we have to simulate our right brain also. So to simulate the right brain, the creative part of us, like if you are a right-handed person, people are asking us to at least write 5 lines on just scribble 5 lines on a paper every day so that our right brain gets simulated. Okay, so this activity you can actually, if you're in the school, in your school also, you can ask students to scribble something using their, if they are right-handed, use their left hand. If they are left-handed, ask them to use the right hand, and so on. Okay, so that is a small activity that can be done. Now, how many of you can draw? Almost everyone can scribble, right? It's not a drawing competition or anything, because I just put a light on the next activity that we are going to do. So here, so when we see creative thinking and critical thinking, we can actually go to another topic, that is your design thinking. So this is the main topic that is there in your syllabus. So this diagram also, I think the last speaker also had shown. So design thinking, you need to have empathy, you define it, ideate, prototype, test. Then again, you go back, correct any correction is required, you do the design correction, right? Yeah. So this is also another form. That is, whenever we ask you to come up with some ideas, or say, for example, I give you a problem to solve, I just ask you to say, design a walking stick for a blind man. Okay. So initially, a lot of ideas will be just pushing through your brain. And if I ask you to write it down, so many things will come. But at one point of time, you will feel that, oh, I'm not getting any ideas. I'm not getting any ideas. Then maybe if you interact with one of your teammates, then again, ideas will start pouring in. Ideas will start pouring in. Okay. So this is what is shown: divergent thinking, convergent thinking. These are all terminologies that you can look up or read from any of the book. Now let us see this diagram. So what do you think this doing, or when you looked at this picture, what is coming to your mind? Can you put it in the chat? What is coming to your mind? Or does he need something? Anyone? Okay. Trying to reach a book beyond his reach. Child is trying to get some book from upper shelf, wanting to get something from the top. Okay, yeah, good. He needs a ladder to achieve something. Climb. Yeah. So whenever a client, or say, for example, you are designing something, you will be always designing something for a customer, right? So when you are designing something for a customer, you need to understand what are his needs. What are the user needs? What are the user needs that you need to understand? Sometimes, like, we don't know whether he has climbed to take a book or for fun only he has climbed, right? So you don't know. So unless and until you interact with this kid, you won't be knowing whether he has climbed up to take a book or just for fun, right? So that is one perspective where when you are when the client asks you, or when a customer asks you to design something, you need to really interact with the customer so that you can get what he actually wants, So that is a very beautiful thing, wherein in all because previously and all, some students, if we give them some work, they'll just grab the keyboard and start doing. So we tell them it is not fair. You have to think about it. You have to analyze the situation and then only start the coding part. Now I'll tell you some words. Some are in, how many of you are in sitting on a system, laptop or computer or on mobile? If you have any paper or pen or anything, you can just scribble. Or if you're on a laptop, you can take the paint utility. You can just keep the paint utility open. Is it open? Is the paint utility
Yes,
open?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now I'll just randomly tell some words. It's not a drawing competition or anything. You can just, whatever comes to your mind, you can just sketch it. I'll just give 3 seconds. Okay, 3 seconds is too much, I think. So I'll just utter the word. You can just scribble it on the notepad or scribble it on the paint or on the paper. Okay. Are you all ready with the paper or the paint utility?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. The first word is phone. Next is fan. Next is baby. Next one is door.
What's the next one, ma'am?
Door. D-O-O-R. Maybe
Okay,
I can
door.
type it in the chat. Okay. Door. Okay.
Ma'am, can you repeat the third one?
Baby and door, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, baby. So initially I told phone. I'll just put the words over here. Phone, baby. One more we had, right?
Phone, fan, baby, and door.
Fan. Yeah. How many of you drew the mobile phone? Hello. You can put it in the chat or switch on the mic and speak. How many of you drew the mobile phone?
Sort of. May not look
Okay.
like a phone, but sort of.
Okay.
Yeah, mobile phone.
Yeah. How many of you drew the ceiling fan?
Me.
Okay. 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 Landline. Yeah. Because if we ask our children, they will definitely draw the mobile phone only. They won't go for the landline phone because they are not at all aware about it, right? And if they have to draw the, say for example, if I had given the word computer, they will definitely draw the laptop, not our desktop, right? We would have drawn the monitor with the CPU, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, so why this exercise was given is whenever we are teaching something, if we can make mind maps, it will be good enough. So if you are making mind maps, children will be very quickly grasping the whatever we wanted to convey. Okay. So it is not, so if you know this much drawing, you can do any mind map, right? So what is the feeling you got when I asked you to draw? It can be interactive.
I had a little doubt because, you know, when it comes to drawing, not very confident about the drawing part. So I didn't know whether whatever you would give, I'll be able to draw or not. But you actually encouraged us in saying that it's not a competition and you can scribble or you
Yeah,
could roughly
because
do it.
everybody has an inhibition because as children, we used to, if somebody asked us to draw something, we used to draw spontaneously, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
as we grew up, we have that spontaneity in us gone. But we have to nurture the child in us so that we'll be able to express our express our thoughts in a better way. So to express the thoughts in a better way, pictures are always good. Pictures are always good, right? So if you know this much scribbling on the on the paint or on the paper, good enough. It's good enough. Okay. Yeah. Now the next one is one of you can unmute. Anybody can unmute. I think this was actually circulated in the most of the WhatsApp messages and all.
Yeah.
Anybody
Teachers,
can-
please be interactive, you know, that
Yeah.
way you'll remain connected to the class and you'll not doze off because it's a Sunday afternoon. So
Yeah,
anybody who would
because-
like to read?
Anyone. They can just unmute and start reading. Anybody. Because as teachers, we should not be shy, right?
So they're not usually shy. They usually do that.
Hmm.
Are we audible?
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, very much audible.
Okay, so could one of you would like to read?
Yeah, anyone. Are you with me? Are you all with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I
Complete-
making
Yes.
some sense?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to read.
Yeah, please
Yeah,
go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
But ma'am, your PPT is not visible. Rather, I can't see the presentation.
So, ma'am, I can see that. So, if you want, I can.
Yeah, Swati
Can
ma'am,
you
can you
read?
please read? The presentation is visible. So
Yeah.
it could be a small network issue at our own individual site. Please check it out. The presentation is visible. Swati ma'am, can you read?
Yes, ma'am. I'll do that. So, it's the heading is say the color, not the word.
No, you don't have to read the, that is, it
Okay.
is actually, you have to just say the color, but not
Okay.
the word. I think this was there in the WhatsApp also a lot of times.
Okay. So, ma'am, all these are colors, like they are the words as well as the color. Purple.
No, you have to just tell the color only.
You have to
For
say
example,
the color.
first one is
Okay, all right. Okay,
written
okay.
as
So
purple,
it's like
but
red.
it is red in color, right?
Correct,
yes.
correct.
So
That's
red, purple, green,
Hmm.
black, blue,
Good.
yellow, black, black, blue, red, blue, green, blue, red.
Did you find it difficult?
Yes, ma'am. The first instinct was to read just whatever is written.
Yeah, that is spontaneous. That is spontaneously we will read what is
Yeah.
there
Yes, ma'am.
rather than tell the color, right?
Yes, yes,
Because,
ma'am.
because here we have confused you in the sense the color name, because if it is a apple or something that we have written, then you would not have get the confusion. Okay.
True, true.
Instead, we have put the color names in a different color. Okay. So that is where the confusion came. Okay. And this test is called as a Stroop color test. So that can be given for like when this is like a confusing situation, right? So this is actually called as a Stroop color and word test. You would have seen it in the WhatsApp earlier, but you would not have known the name. So this is also a creative building. Now, I have actually shared 2 diagrams with you all. If you're having paint utility, it will be good. You can just open this diagram depending upon whether you're right-handed or left-handed. Have you got the diagrams?
No, wait, ma'am. I'll just post it now because
Yeah, you can post it.
I had downloaded it. First one is on your chat box, so you can see it from there.
Yeah. So you can just open these faces in the, I'll just show you the instruction. Can I move to the next slide, instruction slide?
Yes, ma'am. What are we supposed to do, Bindu ma'am? We've got these.
You have to just open it. I'll just tell you the instruction.
Okay.
So here, if you're right-handed, you open the, it is written print, open the faces on the right. That is your, if you're left-handed, that is, it is given right-handed or left-handed. Because, yeah. Depending upon your right-handed or left-handed, you just open the picture in your paint app or in your any of the apps that you have where you can draw. Okay. And what you need to do is you have to redraw the profile that is already printed.
Repeat, Bindu ma'am, repeat. We've got the vase according to.
Yeah. So if you're a right-handed person, you will take the right-handed picture.
Okay.
And start drawing the, with the pencil, whatever is drawn, you just go through it. When you're going through it, you will tell, yeah, forehead, nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, and neck, as you just pass down the diagram.
Okay.
So repeat it at least twice.
Okay.
So I'll just go through it. So at least try 2-3 times, at least 2 times. Once you finish 2 times, when you are doing it 2 times, you will actually tell the parts and then move through it. Forehead, like that. Forehead, nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, neck.
We're supposed to draw over it, right, ma'am?
Over it. Whatever is, that is if you're right-handed, left-handed, depending upon which one.
Okay.
Over it you draw. Now the next task is you need to finish the drawing. That is the symmetrical one you have to draw.
Okay.
So that time also you tell and draw.
Then that means if we have chosen the left hand side image, we have to draw the other part, right handed side.
Yes, yes, yes.
That is what you are asking.
Yes,
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 yes.
yes, right.
Done, ma'am.
Yeah. So when you are doing it, did you find any confusion or conflict as to whether it should be in or out?
Yes.
Some more?
No.
For me, yes.
Yeah. That is when I tried it for the first time, I got actually stuck. Like whether I should move inside or outside.
Yes. Drew it, but you know, you always have this doubt of whether it has to be, yes, drawn inside or whether it has
Yeah.
to be, you know, mirror imaged or, you know, how it has to be done. Yes.
Yeah. So this is a typical exercise to tell you about the left brain and right brain activity. Okay. So this actually stimulates, so you can take up any of these kind of pictures and have it as an exercise done. This is, I'll share the website also with you all later. Now moving on. So are you all awake and with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely with you.
Yeah. So we move on to Dr. Edward de Bono. He actually suggested 6 thinking hats. Okay. So here, if I see, you see, I have just put the thinking hats. You have a red hat, you have a white hat. Red hat is for intuition, hunches, feelings, and emotion. White hat is for information, facts, and data. Yellow hat is for benefits, value, positive aspects. Black hat, caution, difficulties, risks, and weakness. Green hat gives you the creative ideas, alternative possibilities. Then blue hat helps you manage the thinking, focus, and summary. Now, this is one pictorial representation of the 6 thinking hat. Now I'll show you the mind map for it. Can you see the related? So is this a better way of telling this? So this is a mind map, which actually tells more about it. The same thing only, most of the things, same things only I have put it. But when you look into it, you will actually start assimilating more ideas than what you observed from the previous diagram. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and these diagrams, actually there is a software. I'll just shift my screen. If you're not able to see the screen, you should tell me 1 minute. I'll just move from this slideshow and move to my window. Give me a second. Yeah.
We are actually right now seeing the AI curriculum handbook, Bindu ma'am. Is that what you
No,
want
no,
to
I
show
didn't
us?
share it. I'll just. No, still on the slide, right?
Yeah, still on the slide.
And open that software and check on it. Yeah, are you able to see a window now?
What I have on my screen is coding contest first.
Yes, yes, yeah. So whenever you need to do any mind maps, you can actually use this tool. A lot of tools are available. This is a free and open source tool. So I thought I'll just show you. Actually, we had a coding contest for our students in the previous semester. So we had designed this. Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So with very easily you can develop this kind of diagrams. You can very well do it with PowerPoint also, but this is a very good way. Like you can actually, after doing the diagram, you can share it and export it as a PDF, export it as an image or to a Word document, then it will come as text. If I say export it to a Word document, it will come as text. And for example, I can save it as an image also. Okay, those kind of features are there. So Milanote, this link I'll post it in the chat window.
Okay, ma'am.
It's a very nice tool when we are making the presentation and so on.
And it can be used on laptops and mobiles both.
Yeah, I haven't installed the application. It's from the browser only, so you can use it in both.
Okay, Bindu ma'am, your messages are coming only to me. So I'll put it in the chat box for now. You can change.
No,
it
I'll
to
make it
everyone.
everyone.
Yeah, you will make it to everyone in meeting.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, now it is done.
So this tool, if you are interested, you can just explore. It's a self-learning tool only. A lot of options are available. For doing the mind map, I found this tool very handy. Okay, so I thought I'll share it with you. So we'll move directly move on to the presentation.
Okay.
So when you see this mind map, you can see that the explanation is very like we are able to understand it better, right?
Yes.
But whereas when we just saw the diagram alone, that will be very difficult to understand. So these there are a lot of exercises and activities for simulating these thinking hats. Okay, that you can see it later. Now, yeah. I'll shift screen. Sorry. I'm just like when I switch on the video, you can just tell me whether you're able to hear the sound also. Okay.
Persuasive appeals,
Hear the
ethos,
sound?
logos, and pathos.
Yes,
By Bruce
yes.
Goodner. This is Ari. Ari has an idea. He'd like to order pizza for dinner tonight, but there could be a problem. This is Ari's mom. She may or may not order the pizza. She's got the phone and the money. Hey Mom, can we order pizza tonight? I don't know. Ari knows that there must be some way to get his mom to agree with him and order that pizza. And he knows exactly what he'll do. He'll use persuasion. But how will Ari persuade his mom to order that pizza? Well, a long time ago in ancient Greece, a philosopher named Aristotle noticed that when people try to persuade each other, they use three main tactics. He called these tactics ethos, logos, and pathos. The first one, ethos, or ethical appeal, is about establishing your credibility with the audience. An author or speaker establishes credibility with the audience by being fair, being knowledgeable about the topic, being trustworthy, and being considerate of their thoughts and opinions. Let's look at how ethos or credibility helps Ari with his mom. Hey Mom, I know you're tired and so you probably don't want to cook, so I have an idea. Let's order some pizza. You can choose any kind of topping you want, and I have a coupon. Now Ari's mom is probably thinking, hey, that's a pretty fair request. Pizza's pretty easy to order and I haven't cooked anything yet. She's also thinking, you know, Ari knows a lot about pizza and the toppings. Maybe he can help me pick one. She's also thinking that, hey, Ari's not going to get out of doing his homework or his chores if I order the pizza, so he's definitely not trying to trick me. And she knows that Ari thought about her, that she is tired and she would probably like to take a night off from cooking, and it doesn't hurt that she can save a couple of bucks. Because Ari established credibility or ethos with his mom, she's probably going to think, hey, pizza's not a bad idea. Logos, or logical appeals, have to do with being reasonable. When your idea or argument is reasonable, it means you put a lot of thought into it, and that there are good reasons to think the way you do, and that there's evidence to support what you say. Let's look at how logos, or logical appeal, helps Ari. Hey Mom, let's order some pizza tonight. It's got a lot of healthy stuff. In fact, I read somewhere that all the major food groups are in pizza. Now, Ari's mom is probably thinking that Ari is very thoughtful. He had some good reasons for me to order the pizza. And I especially like the food pyramid. That was really good evidence. Maybe I should order a pizza for dinner. The last kind of appeal, pathos, is an appeal to emotions. It's all about feelings. If you want someone to agree with you, you probably want them to have a positive feeling towards you. You usually can't convince anyone who's mad. So a speaker needs to make sure that the audience feels the same way she does, whether or not they agree with the actual topic. So that way, because they feel the same, they're more likely to agree with her later on. Look how it works for Ari. Mom, you know what I love? I love pizza. And you know why I love pizza? Because it makes me happy. And Ari's mom gets to thinking, hey, I like pizza too, and it makes me happy, and it would make Ari happy too. Maybe I should order pizza for dinner. You're probably thinking that ethos, logos, and pathos are supposed to be used separately. However, it's actually best whenever you use all three together. When you establish your credibility, have good reasons with evidence, and help the audience feel the same way you do, you're sure to make your case. Whether you're the speaker or the audience, it always helps to know how people get their ideas across. If you're the speaker or author, understanding the persuasive appeals gives you a toolbox on how to persuade people. Think of them as guidelines when it's your job to change people's minds. And if you're the audience, it's helpful to understand these persuasive appeals, so that way you'll know when someone is trying to use these tools on you. And it'll make one Greek philosopher pretty happy. Thank you for watching Persuasive Appeals, Ethos, Logos, and Pathos by Bruce Goodner.
Yeah. So, what do you think about Ari? What do you think about Ari?
I believe he was a very sensible child who used all the three techniques to convince his mother. It was a very relevant share as well.
Yeah.
What about other teachers? What do you feel about Ari?
Very smart.
At least he thought about it. He gave it a thought. How do I go ahead and convince my mother? Most of this we always experience at home also.
Yeah,
Yes,
Ari will
that
be a
is,
go-getter when he grows up.
yeah, that is why I chose this. So many videos were there explaining this concept. I thought this will be very easy to relate to, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is, sorry. Yeah. So this ethos, pathos, and logos, they are actually called as the pillars of persuasion. Okay. So whenever you are designing something or when you are doing a talk, like most of the time nowadays, our classrooms have actually shifted from teacher-centric one to a student-centric one. And in some of the articles, they have actually written the classrooms also has to be redesigned. The normal way where the teacher just talks to the student and the students just listen to them, that era is gone, right? Do you all agree?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Somebody was
ma'am.
telling there is a black.
Yeah, ma'am, on top of your presentation, right in the center and on the right hand side, this big gray color block.
I think
Also-
that's the controls, Zoom controls. Maybe you can drag it somewhere on the.
Aside now.
Yes, now you can put it in the full screen mode. Yes, now it has gone to this side.
Yeah, can you, is it gone now?
Yeah, it has gone to this side. We can see the slide.
Okay, okay. So actually this was put forward by our famous thinker Aristotle. Okay, so when you're mixing these, that is, it's not like this happens in many scenario, right? When you are asking a student to do a test, nowadays we have to put in all our efforts in a different way that the student is not emotionally stressed also, but he learns the thing also. That is our main motto, right? So how to make him learn without knowing that he's learning. So when we are teaching, that should be our method that we follow, so that this has been adopted in the smaller classes, but the same thing they say it can be used in the higher classes also. Once actually I have tried, I was actually teaching them computer architecture, and there is a very difficult concept called as parallel processing. So for the parallel processing, the students, to understand it better, what I did was I just selected 5 students, and I just asked them whether they know to make chapatis. So the student said, yeah, ma'am, somewhere doubtful. I said, I'll tell you what are the steps. And I just asked them what are the steps. So they just told the dough has to be ready. The dough has to be rolled out. That is, the balls have to be made. Then you need to roll it out, right? So the raw material that is used for making your chapati, that is your dough. That has to be ready. If it is not ready, then I cannot start the next process. What is the next process? Making it into balls. Now, making it into balls, many people can do it, right? So many people means it is a parallel processing. That is many. So the same thing, if I have a chunk of data, something available, then I can split the data and give it to many computers for processing. Okay. So when this concept was explained to them in this mode, they actually could relate and understand the technique. So here I actually put in 2-3 techniques also. The technology that is put is the first, there will be some, that is, whenever you take any task, you will be having independent data or independent processing and dependent processing. For example, when you're doing something, the output of one section will be passed on to the next section. In that case, the first output has to be ready, then only the next can process. So that is the example, that is when the dough is ready. So the dough is one output, right? Now, when that output is ready, then you can do the next process, that is rolling out the ball. Now, once the balls are ready, then when the ball is getting ready itself, you can actually roll it out. But what is the limitation there? Limitation is you should have that many number of rolling pin and boards, right? So here I introduce the concept of a resource, right? The rolling pin and the chapati board, that is the resource. So if that resource is missing also, you cannot go for the parallel processing. You cannot go for the parallel processing when the output is not ready also, you cannot go for the parallel processing. So if one task is dependent on the other, then you cannot go to the next task. Okay, so we can think of lot of small situation which the students can relate to from the real life, so that they'll be understanding the concepts in a better way. So we have to have a mix of, when we are speaking to the students, we need to have a mix of these three. That is, when they listen that the teacher is caring and telling them something that is very essential for their life, then they will be listening. Now, the next thing, this was a very interesting thing, it's called as a plus, minus, and interesting. Okay, so to make plus, minus, interesting charts, whenever we need to do a design something, you can actually do plus, minus, and interesting. The very good example or the company that adopted this technique is Apple. Initially, they had the iPods, and then they had the initially Apple was in the communication domain, in the computer domain, that is, they were manufacturing Mac, and they reached to one point where the company was going to shut down also. Then Steve Jobs came with the idea of making out something interesting. So they already had the music, that is your iPod available. So what they did, they combined and came up with the communication device, that is our iPhone. So you can actually listen to his release of the iPhone, that video. It's very, very interesting. So what they did, they just added the music system also with the phone and made it interesting. So how you tackle with that situation, some points are there. Whenever there is a situation, you consider some positive points. Then you think of taking away some of the points. Maybe that is not essential at all. And then they consider the interesting point and make a balanced decision. Okay, so I'll just show you. So it is referred to as PMI chart. So whenever you are doing some designing some new things, you can actually use these kind of charts, PMI charts. So here the example is, it is a, say for example, in one industry, say manufacturing industry, they have decided to increase the product price. This is a very trivial example. So they keep on asking, what are the pluses? What are the positive? So they say, whenever you are selling things, you will get more money. So in some cases, when it is high price, you consider it as a premium product. Then your production quotas can be reduced, because when it is a premium product, the demand, so it's a little bit conflicting also. And with reduced production, you can focus on the quality of the product. That are the plus they have put it. Now the minus is, if the product price is going up, sales will be harder. Like we will not be able to sell. And losing customers might damage our image. That is a minus in that. So interesting, that is, we might develop a new customer base by appealing to the high-end customers. That is what actually iPhone achieved, right? So you can just look at the story of the iPhone. It's a very interesting talk by the release of the iPhone. That video link also I will share at the end of the session. Okay, so these kind of charts you can prepare. Next, moving on, the next design strategy is the 5 W's and 1 H. This, if you remember, I don't know, my father always used to tell me, if I go and ask him some queries, See, don't be worried. No, you ask the 5 wise men that they're always with you. Why don't you ask the 5 wise men? The wise men will be always ready to answer your queries. Okay, so any situation, you should be able to find out for whom we are designing it, when they are going to use it, where they are going to use it, what is the major use of it, why they really want it at that point, and how they are going to use it. For example, now we are initially during the lockdown period, we are all at home, and many of us have some makeshift arrangement, right? So when you're doing the makeshift arrangement, one product that became very famous is the height adjustable table, right? So initially it was there, but it was not that much popular. But during this pandemic, I think it has sold so many numbers. It is sold. Say if you see in your Amazon, you will see what is the rating of it and how many products have been sold, right? So it is like whenever we are designing a product, you should know for whom, for when, and where your and what, why, and how. Okay, so this is another kind of approach. Now, this is one scenario that I always show my students, like customer is asked to design something. Okay, there was a slideshow. I just put it into one slide for the lack of time. So this is how the customer is explaining. This is what I told you, the needs, right? That is, before you're designing the product, you will actually get the requirements or the user needs, what the user wants. So when the customer is explaining in this way, okay, and the project leader, he understood it in this way. Are you able to visualize it? Now the analyst, he designed it in this way. The programmer wrote the program in this way. And the business consultant, when he's in the meeting, he describes it in this way. And actually what the customer wants is shown in the last diagram. This diagram, this is how the customer was built. Okay, this diagram. Okay. So like most of the time it happens when we are talking something over the phone, sometimes a lot of miscommunication happen, right? So in order to illustrate this only, that is, if you're not understanding the requirements of the customer properly, this is what is going to happen. This is a classic swing diagram when we teach the students software engineering. Are you able to appreciate it?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. This has made it very clear of that communication gap that can happen in the process.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So these kind of scenarios, if you explain, they will actually understand the need of sitting and designing for something. Because most of the time, if you give a question, they will grab the keyboard and start typing, right? So instead, they should actually think for a moment, what am I supposed to do? Because most of the time, people are not interested in writing the algorithm or drawing the flow chart or looking into what are the input for the program, what is the output, all those things they don't think. They, yeah, I have got the question, I have to finish off my work and just run around. They'll just grab the keyboard or just download some code, upload it, and then run away, right? So that should not be the perspective. So that is your, yeah. Now the next is about 5 whys, okay? So here the scenario that is taken is, the vehicle will not start. So you ask the first why, yeah, you get the answer, the battery is dead. Now when they say battery is dead, next question is asked why, the alternator is not functioning. Again you ask the question why, the alternator belt has broken. Again you ask a why, the alternator belt was well beyond the useful service life and not replaced. Now the assumption, that is the last why, actually gives you the actual problem. The vehicle was not maintained according to the recommended service schedule, right? Because the vehicle will not start At one Y, if you're stopping, you will just understand, okay, the battery is dead. That's it, right? So if you keep on asking questions, you'll be able to find out what the customer actually wanted. Okay. One more scenario I'll show you. So this is a scenario where it is a personal scenario that we have taken. That is a student or someone lost a professional badminton match. You ask them why. I was rusty. Next, and again you ask why you were rusty. I didn't warm up. Next, again you ask, I was overconfident of winning. Why? I thought the opponent was new. So the moral of the story is, irrespective of the opponent, they should warm and practice. Then only the corrective action. So here the corrective action is identified. That is, they should never underestimate the opponent, right? Now, if you there is a very small, very interesting book called "Who Moved My Cheese?" I don't know how many of you have read it. Who Moved My Cheese? People have read the book.
Yes, ma'am, I've read it.
Yeah, that's a very
Long
beautiful
back.
book. Yeah, and there is an animated version also available. You can just look up "Who Moved My Cheese." That actually speaks up, right? Like most of the time, we are not ready to come out of our comfort zone at all, right? We just stick to the comfort zone. That is why we don't take a risk and explore anything. We'll just sit there thinking that, okay, everything will be okay, like that. So once you are out of the comfort zone, you will become more creative and you will apply your design thinking skills in a better way. That is what I wanted to convey. Is it clear? Are you all with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Another scenario is customers wait too long on the phone at the end of the month. So the last week of the month is, so the first Y answers, the last week of the month is busiest for sales. Next one answers, company offers more incentives to customers late in the month. Why? Sales are usually behind the goal late in the month. Again, a why? Customers have learned that if they wait, they'll get incentives. So what is the root cause? Sales targets are done on a monthly basis, letting a big deficit form. So what is the action to be taken? Make weekly sales goals instead of monthly targets to prevent getting so far behind. Because at the month only, they will retaliate as to why the sales have gone down. Instead, the suggestion is you make weekly sales goals. Okay. So this is also one example for why we should keep on asking why. Another method that is coming, there is actually a company by name also, L5. Whenever you're explaining something, you explain like I am 5. So the terminology is ELI5, L5 or something like that, they pronounce it, L5. ELI5, I don't know how do they pronounce, explain like I am 5. So for this, I have just taken the example of how I taught them. So here you can see a Jeep and a bus. Okay, so I am explaining to the child. I keep on showing lot of pictures of Jeep, lot of pictures of bus. Now, whenever the child sees a bus or a Jeep, it will keep on screaming, right? Bus, bus, or Jeep, Jeep. This we all have experienced, right? With our kids, yes? Yes, are you able to relate it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Now, what I do is, I show a double decker. Now, how does the child react? Anyone can put in the chat, or how does the child react? What will the child will definitely answer, right? So child might say bus on a bus.
Or two buses.
Yeah, 2 buses, so many, because children will never stop answering. They will not shy away, right? If you ask them some questions, show them a new thing also, some answer will definitely be there. So they will say bus on a bus or something like that, right? Now the next, again, I show this. So this is an old model car. It will definitely answer car or a bus. This example actually I had taken for explaining classification in AI. In machine learning, we have the supervised learning technique. For that, I had actually given them this example. So the first picture, this is, I'm actually training my model with lot of diagram, that is the G pictures and the bus picture. So the my model is a small kid. Now I show a new model. So here I will actually get an error, right? Depending upon what the answer, what the child answers. Same way with this also. So when the model is seeing a new picture that it has not seen, it will actually have an error. So I introduce a concept of classification, the supervised learning, and the error also using these slides. So this is what I thought explaining like I am 5. This is a very new concept that is coming in. You can actually explore this. This is also a method of, yeah, before going into this, am I on time? How much time I have?
Yes, yes, you have time, ma'am. You have time.
Next is, I move on to the 21st century skills. So these are the 4 C's: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. So you all know, right? If you are not able to communicate, we will not be a good teacher. And when you are in a team, communication plays a very important role. And we should be ready to collaborate so that our goal is reached. And you have to apply your logical reasoning skills so that your problem is solved. And you have to, if you have to come up with a very good new product, the creativity approach also has to be there. Now, one small task for you all. Can you just design a wallet for yourselves?
Ma'am, please repeat.
Yeah, I'll just put it over. It's for everyone? Yeah. Just design a small one.
Do you mean to say that we draw a wallet?
Yeah, you can draw or think of what are the features it will have, like how many pockets it will have, whether it will be able to house what all things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 30 seconds. Yeah. One of you can read out? Anyone can read out what you scribbled? One of you can read out if possible.
Those who have designed it can just share it with Bindu ma'am. What is the design of the wallet? How do you want it to be?
One which has 2 or 3 compartments, one for mobile also. Good.
Thank you, Raksha ma'am. What about the others?
Thank you. Each one I would have thought in this way, right? Different things. But this is like normal, right? Now, if you give the same question to a kid, how will they think? They may think like it should have, like they should not have a definite another mobile. It should have some iPad attached to it, right? We have written one for keeping the mobile, right? They may think in a different way, right? There is a small puzzle wherein they will show 9 dots and ask us to connect with straight line. So we will be keeping on thinking, yeah, how to connect it. But the kids, if the same exercise is given to the kid, they come out with so many solutions. Actually, in one of the workshops, one kid, what they did is they drew a very thick line over the three dots are in different line. Okay, in each row 3 dots are there. So the task that was given is you have to connect the dots with straight lines. So the kid, what he did, he just drew a thick straight line. We just told line only, no, we didn't say a thick line or a thin line. So he just drew a thick line over it.
So all the 9 dots covered within one. Yeah.
Yeah, one line.
Yeah.
We never told about the thickness of the line. No.
Yes,
And
great.
we will never think about that kind of a solution at all, right? We will be thinking different other. You can just Google that. That puzzle is already available on the net. You can just see that. Then, yeah. So your critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity. Then you have your 3 R's. And I'll just show you that here. So now it has actually moved on to 7 C's, 3 R's, and 3 M's. Previously, we were talking about 4 C's in the previous slide, right? So here, 21st century learning, you have your collaboration, communication, critical thinking, creativity. These were the things we told. Now you have care for self, others, and the planet, curiosity, and cultural understanding. Okay, so these are the 3 things that has been added. And R, what are the 3 R's, previous 3 R's?
Read, write, and arithmetic, is it?
Yes, very good, very good. So here, risk-taking, reflectiveness, resilience. And M's, made for everyone, meaningful and motivating. So when you're thinking of a solution, that is when students are participating in the hackathons, they should have all these things in their mind. That is because we have done a lot of damage to the nature, damage to our planet, that this care also comes into picture. And the cultural understanding, that is, say, for example, when we are developing an app, it should be able to, everybody should be able to use it, whether the person knows Hindi or person knows Punjabi or person knows Telugu, he should be able to use it. That is one small example. Now it should be available for everyone. That is when you, for example, if you take the case of apps, it should not be just made for iOS alone. It should be made for Android. Anyone member in Clubhouse? This social networking platform, Clubhouse?
Not yet me. Wanted to, but have not explored it yet. Anybody else?
Actually, we can create a group in Clubhouse and can have sessions there also.
Yeah, we'll do that, ma'am. We'll explore. I'll take your guidance because I got a request from 2-3 people for Clubhouse. As there is, it's audio, it's more convenient for many people.
Yes.
And the timings are also very flexible, I believe.
Yeah. So, why that app has developed and why it has become very popular? Any idea? The networking, that platform?
Not really sure about it. What about anybody else who's heard of this app called Clubhouse, which is very much in demand these days? Lot of discussions happen over in Clubhouse in different topic, different areas.
Why is it become very popular?
Is it because it's very convenient? Like it's an audio discussion that happens. And
that is one. Yeah. Anyone? Yeah. Somebody's trying to answer. Yes. Hello. Yeah. The thing is, whenever we text, we are not able to understand the feeling of others, right? But when I speak to you, you can actually, for example, I may say hello when I am sad, hello when I am very happy, right? The tone of hello changes, but that we just express with so many O's and so many L's, right? But that much we cannot communicate. On what context the person has sent the message, it's very difficult to communicate. But when it is a voice, it's very easy to make out.
Yes, true.
And many youngsters are taking the platform so that some people have that stage fright, right? So here they are not seeing the audience, so they can start their communication, develop their communication skill in a better way. The main advantage is you can go and join any of the Clubhouse groups and just listen, be a listener. And according the people, they may call you for a speaker also. If you are interested, you can accept the speaker notice.
Okay.
There is a very good group in Clubhouse, which actually tells you all the new texts that have come up. If people are interested, we can make a group in Clubhouse.
Yes, we'll do,
and,
ma'am.
yeah,
We'll do.
for our teachers and
Yes, we'll do that, ma'am.
yeah, I'll just start a group and send.
Yes, and I'll share it with the teachers so they can join.
Ma'am, is it a audio-based social?
Yes, it is. It is.
Audio social networking site.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
But you can't post files or you can't post anything over there.
Right.
Wonderful. Okay.
That's very, very much famous right now in Kerala. Many people are using it. I think internationally also it is being used.
That tech group, every day morning I just listen to it for some time so that I am aware about what is the technical things that are going on. Because our kids are so much updated, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When you go to the class, they may ask you some. And one more thing is that is coming up is your Twitter Spaces.
Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, Twitter Spaces. Because Twitter, already people are there, right? So Twitter Spaces is also same kind of an application where you can have sound, only sound. Voice-based networking.
Okay.
So these people are in competition, these two, Clubhouse and Twitter Space.
Oh.
Yeah. So this already our teachers have answered, read, writing and arithmetic. This was the previous one. Now it has moved to reimagine, redesign and reorganize. Now beyond the 3 R's, we should be thinking about the leadership, digital literacy, communication, emotional intelligence, entrepreneurship, global citizenship, problem solving. And because nowadays many of the kids are going outside, right? So we should be making them ready for the global citizenship as well. So yeah. Now I think this is one company specific thing. I won't share it. And some more slides I have on deductive reasoning and that you can actually go through.
Yes.
Because it's a Sunday evening. So if you have any, I'll take some questions. Shibi, time is there?
Yeah. Time is there, ma'am. We have time till 4:30. So
I'll just sum up.
Yes,
and then yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Teachers, if you have any questions, she is a very wonderful person to have with us. So if you have any questions related to, I had shared our syllabus, I had shared our handbook with her. So if you have any questions related to this, or please do ask her. In case if you have something else, you can ask her. She can answer it now, or she'll definitely get in touch with us as and when she has the answer. Yes, ma'am. You can wind up the session now with your.
So we had actually seen into how creative thinking and critical thinking plays a very important role in designing things, right? Because we don't want people to just do some rote learning and mug up some things. We want people to become our children or our students to become entrepreneurs and come up with. So our nation is actually moving towards product-based solutions rather than just a service. Because if you see most of the jobs, we are doing service only, right? We are not into the product domain. Although we have a lot of skills and most of our engineers and people are working abroad in the product field, okay? So with that idea in mind only, they have introduced these kind of topics in the school curriculum itself. So I just tried to invoke your ideas. I know many of you will be having a lot of ideas. If we join together, we can form a very good group and groom our young generation. I hope I could throw some light into the topic. I'm really grateful to Shibi Anand for giving me a platform like this to interact with the teachers. And the audience were also very interactive, because if the audience are not interactive, these kind of sessions, we cannot have a dry session for this topic at least. For
Right.
that matter, any topic, any topic. Yeah, thank you so much.
Ma'am, Bindu ma'am, would you like to brief about computational thinking as well, along with creative and critical thinking, please?
Yeah, like in our university, for the last, I think, from 2019 batch onwards, we have actually introduced computational thinking. Initially, we were also very unaware as to what it is. Like, computational thinking is touching upon all the domains of engineering without a programming language intervention. Like, they will be doing the problem solving part, right? Any problem that is given, like how they can solve it. Like, for example, the exercise that we did, say designing a wallet, say designing an elevator. If a person is getting stuck in the elevator, what are the tasks to be done? So the algorithmic thinking and those things are invoked into the students. And in addition to that, what we did was, because the kids are always getting stuck when they deal with the hardware devices, right? Because software, some code and all you will download and do it. But the moment it comes, okay, yeah, we need to make a vehicle run or blow an LED using a computer program. So we just introduced the physical computing also in our computational thinking subject. It's a very interesting area. There is a group called CSTA. Anybody part of this group, CSTA? It's an international group.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, you can take membership in the CSTA. It's a very nice one. And last time their conference was very interesting. We can actually interact with the teachers around the globe, because this pandemic has removed the geographic barriers, right?
Yes, yes, very true.
So last time I actually participated in that CSTA conference. They have a lot of resources also. There is a free membership as well as paid membership. I have just taken the free membership only. Because it was a pandemic, they gave the CSTA, that conference, entry free.
Ma'am, can you share the, the name or the details of it? We'll search
Yeah,
for
I put it there, CSTA.
Okay.
I'll just
It's
consolidate all the
CSTA.
links and send it to you.
It's cstateachers.org.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay, okay. Thank you. Who was that?
Raksha.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've just posted the feedback form onto the chat box also. Kindly fill it up, because we would like to give Bindu ma'am the feedback of the session that she has taken. It's very important when somebody prepares and takes pain and time out of their busy schedule to be with us. It's very important for us to reciprocate and give the feedback back. So, and also, if there are teachers, can you kindly enable your videos if it is possible for you? I know it's Sunday evening. Sometimes it's not possible, but if it is possible, thank you, Binsu ma'am. Every time I say that, okay, can you enable your video? This is one face that, comes up on my screen, and I'm so grateful to her. Yes, thank you, Seema ma'am, because let's see each other before we go away for another week. Yeah, thank you. And is there any teacher who would like to say anything before we move on to the vote of thanks? If there, yeah, good to see the face behind the name, Swati ma'am. And Raksha ma'am, as usual, very comfortably attending our sessions. Okay, congratulations to all those who are present here who have completed that AI course. So we are very fortunate to have you all with us. So yes, the feedback time for Bindu ma'am. Bindu ma'am, can I have your video also on for a minute? So I'll click one picture of everybody with us.
I'm clicking it.
Oh. Our official photographer is actually Raksha ma'am. I was just trying to take it today. Yes, so you can just take.
Yeah, I'm taking it.
Yeah, thank you.
Done.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It
Anybody
was a
who wants
pleasure interacting with you all.
we are like this. We have dedicated Sunday 3 to 5 for learning. So
Okay,
everybody comes up, though there are around 247 people in the group, but odd 50, 60 around that range people would join in for all the sessions that has been hosted. Yes, guys, this is the time where we can interact with Bindu ma'am. Tell her if there's any feedback that you want to give or anything before we actually formally move to the vote of thanks session. And please don't forget to fill in the feedback form before you leave. Anybody who wants to say something?
Can I say?
Oh, please.
Yeah, for me, critical and creative thinking had been something which should be taught from like pre-primary levels itself. But the way you have introduced it for the higher levels, like in class 11th or probably at engineering level, as you mentioned, so that gives me a way to think ahead, like where all we can also like pick up few examples from and quote it for our students. Thank you very much, Bindu ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes,
It was a pleasure.
This is the first time I'm seeing her. Okay, I've only spoken to her over the phone. I have interacted to her over the messaging. So this is the benefit that I see in technology, and this is the advantage that I see for the pandemic.
Yeah.
It connects us to a lot of people. Yes, I have a comment from Taruna ma'am. Enlightening and enriching session. Thanks, Bindu ma'am. So it was
Thank you so
indeed,
much.
before I move on with anybody else who would like to say, there are a lot of comments in the chat box. I'm sure Bindu ma'am is able to see all of that. Now I want to give my feedback before I officially give it to Ritu ma'am. Ritu ma'am was the one who had taken design thinking for us, and I had shared your presentation with Bindu ma'am so that she knows what you have done, and she is in the same page when she designs this. I saw a very different approach. I thought when it is from a professor, a college professor, it's going to be something very heavy, and they do it in a very different level. But I found it very interesting, interactive, and it was pricking us. It was pushing us. It was trying to say, okay, no, see, get your button activated to think. Okay, so this is one way of doing it, but think, are there any other ways? Okay, so she was just dropping those ideas, and she was dropping those clues to us, and how we can do it with our children also. And I really like the way she had designed and planned the whole session, keeping it quite interactive. Though I must admit to you, Bindu ma'am, the teachers are a little more interactive. Today I saw there was a dip somewhere. Maybe in Kerala it's raining heavily. I don't know about the other parts.
Also.
Yeah, I don't know
also.
about the other parts. Maybe people are a little lazy, very cozy at the respective places. But otherwise, they are a wonderful audience. They ask a lot of questions. They interact and they give their feedbacks and inputs also. So I would personally like to thank you for taking it up with us, and we would love to have you back with us for another session for any topic that you think is relevant for the AI teacher community. And also, as you suggested, we might just check out this new audio social media platform of Clubhouse, because I haven't explored it. And every time I download and then I remove it because I don't know what to do with it. So I was not finding it quite useful because I don't know how to use it probably. So, but I have seen a lot of my friends in Clubhouse, and they are all talking about Clubhouse, but it is not making sense to me at all. So I think we will start with Bindu ma'am. We will make a group, and then probably we will have a good discussions over that social media app as well. So thank you so much. You are such a lovely, warm person to have with us. You're not someone as I thought of. They always say, no, don't go by the looks, they're deceptive. I would say don't go by the title, they're deceptives as well. So thank you so much. I would now request Ritu ma'am. Yeah, Taruna ma'am, you want to say something?
No, ma'am. I'm
Okay. Yeah, I would now request Ritu ma'am to officially propose the vote of thanks.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah. So it's my honor to propose the vote of thanks to our eminent speaker today, Bindu ma'am. And it was a highly, enriching presentation. And believe me, Shibi ma'am and Bindu ma'am, we've moved a ladder up. So, as they say, however exhausted you be on a Sunday afternoon with all those daily chores, but learning never exhausts the mind. So when you are learning something new, you are charged again and you're back and glued to the presentation. So very apt examples, Bindu ma'am, and I'm sure this is going to help us with our students. So when we take up the topic with our students, we are now more equipped with a lot of activities in hand, and they were very useful examples. And it was like, for me, I'm sure it was for everyone, it was like putting all the things together. So we had learned in pieces, and I'm now able to link things with design thinking, critical thinking, collaborative thinking, and a lot of new things which we learned, especially the 7 C's, 3 R's, and the 3 M's of education.
Yes,
So
yes, Ritu ma'am, I forgot to mention that. That was a
yeah,
very
that
new, I have attended
yeah,
a lot of session, but this one was quite new to me as well. The 7 C's, 3 R's
yeah,
and 3 M's, very relevant, very relevant.
very relevant image which was shared, and it's actually already stimulating my mind, and I'm thinking how it can be incorporated and how it is useful for all other educators in our school to understand the 7 C's, 3 M's, and 3 R's. It's very important that we all understand in that same way, and so that we can bring our students to that level. And thank you, Shibi ma'am, the 12th session. And we are, I missed a couple of sessions in the past because of the assessment work, which was keeping me really occupied. I'm sure it is keeping everyone occupied because IT support is there everywhere. So, but today, after reading the topic, I had decided that whatever happens, I'm not going to miss this session. And so I'm here, and I have this opportunity to even propose the vote of thanks. Thank you, Shibi ma'am. Once again, interacting with all the teachers has been always wonderful, and we are extremely grateful to Bindu ma'am once again for being here, and we will stay connected, and we look forward for many more presentations from you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for joining us this evening. As we always, I understand that everybody is deeply buried with those result calculations that is happening in all the schools. Bindu ma'am, the CBSE grade 10 and 12 result tabulations are going on, and the IT team is quite busy everywhere. I know someone who is actually deep buried inside that, but still has joined here, and many have joined because they don't want to miss this session. And I'm glad that at least 38 to 40 people, 40 teachers join, and those students would benefit when they go to their respective classrooms. Those students would benefit because they're going away with a lot of creative ideas, a lot of takeaways, a lot of examples that they can use in their classrooms. Bindu ma'am has shared a few documents with me, which I would be forwarding to your our group. And she's also said she'll share the presentation with us. So I'll share the presentation also with the group. So thank you again. I think it's time for all of us to break for a tea. So we'll all go today and come back again next Sunday, because next Sunday we would have Smita taking us through storytelling as a pedagogy for AI. So that is the topic for next Sunday, again at 3 o'clock. So see you all next Sunday at 3 o'clock. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you. Thank you, Bindu ma'am.
Stay safe.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Bye.